I literally just had an epiphany that I like beautiful over pretty. I prefer beautiful. I really prefer beautiful. Um, I was thinking about that in terms of my own mother. I'll be honest with you. When I was growing up, my mother was what folks down south and in other places across the nation would call a high yellow sister. She was a red bone, basically. And pretty lady, she was. But she had a flip mouth when I was young and growing up. And though my dad, she and my dad were together till death did they part, there were other men, still, brothers do what brothers do, trying to sniff up on her. My dad was a real strong man, and plus he was solid anyway. He was solid in the community. I don't think he was worried about it, because truth be told, there were other women who would have loved to have had him as their husband, and so I think he and my mother kind of understood that, and so they didn't act foolish toward one another in that regard. And they kind of balanced one another, which I thought was beautiful. Anyway, I oftentimes, a few times at least in my adult life, told my dad that he was a better man than I was because my mother would do some stuff that I know I would not have put up with, but my dad was the right one for her. So he dealt with her and he was able to deal with her. Nevertheless, even though I would be the one that the family would call lots of times when she would get real out of hand, and I would be the one that the Most High gave, I guess, the sensibilities to be able to talk her down because she had a temper too, boy. But anyway, she had a flip mouth, especially when I was younger. But as I was thinking about her regarding pretty versus beautiful, it just came to me really strongly that as she got older and more mature and wiser, what was pretty about her became outright beautiful because I literally saw my mother bloom and blossom from, let's say, a princess to a queen. She left this world when she passed away. She left this world with the sensibilities of that those queen-like qualities. Always knew how to dress, but her dress was more refined. Um, Speech more refined. Her temperance, her patience was just beautiful. I was like, wow. And I think having grandchildren helped with that because she just my children and my sister's children, she was a good mother to us as me being her son, my mom and dad's son, and to my sisters, their daughters, but to the grandchildren, it was like it was like a whole other thing. I don't even know how to explain it. Some grandparents might be able to qualify what I'm trying to say, but it's like with the age and the wisdom and I guess her own experiences, her own trials, her own errors, things that she had to endure, plus now having the role of not just being a mother and a wife, but now a grandmother, it's like the Most High stepped in and refined her to an even greater degree. My dad seemed to have had that refinement perhaps before her. I'm going to be honest. Because he was always the one, like I said, with more temperance, more people in the community and so forth. They recognized both my mom and dad, but they'd come to my dad as like the problem solver. He was the one who was able to go and praise Most High, make things happen. He could talk to different people, and just based on his name, his credibility, he had this sphere, SPHERE, of influence that my mom did not quite have at that moment when she was younger. Though, again, she was attractive and people recognized her. She was educated, but she was flip. I can't lie, I ain't gonna trip about that. And so, as she got older, something shifted in her spirit, in her ruach, and she went from pretty to beautiful. And it was nothing that she could do in terms of changing her dress or whatever, changing her hairstyle. It wasn't about that. It was about there was a shift in her spirit, and you could literally see it in her eyes. You could see it in her countenance, in her face, in her posture. You could see it see it and hear it, I should say, within the tone of her voice and the word choice, all of that good stuff. And trust you me, my children loved their grandma Shirley. I mean, they loved her, um, and trusted her, and so forth. And it was beautiful to see both my parents evolve and grow as they did. I'm saying this because as I'm maturing and I'm getting older, as we all do, and I'm looking at the possibilities of what lies ahead in my future, I know for a certainty that I prefer beautiful, beauty over pretty. And beauty comes from Yahuwah, the Most High. Yeah, that's where it comes from. It's a different spirit. I'm not seeking, for example, in a woman, someone, who is on this whole kick of trying to look like what's being publicized out here, trying to come across as what the world states and represents as being attractive and embraceable. No, I simply desire that woman who has yielded to the Most High and who is allowing His Ruach to shine through her, making her beautiful in the ways that only the Most High can. Beautiful not being something that we could necessarily write down as a list on paper, but again, we recognize it when it shows up in the room. I prefer beautiful over pretty any day. So much so that I prefer to be beautiful. I prefer to present beauty to this world over being handsome, over being fine. Fine based on what we call fine, like, dang, that person's fine, based on physique, body and attire and all of that stuff. No, let me be beautiful in the Most High. And with that beauty, there's also strength in many ways, in many areas. There's that temperance, there's that patience, Patience, patience. Yeah, yeah, I prefer beautiful. Just wanted to share that. Blessings to all of you.